Hello and welcome to Incident Management module in ServiceDesk Plus. In this video, you will learn how to customize the help desk, define templates and additional fields, and configure automations for the application. So let's get started. You will be able to customize the help desk configurations like categories, statuses, levels, and priorities for requests. You will be able to do this by going to Help Desk link under the customization section. You can create a number of categories, subcategories, and items in the application. You can create a category by clicking the New Category button and give a name for the category. You can provide it with some description and also predefine the category to a technician in the application as well. And once you have created a category, you will be able to add a subcategory to it in the application as well. Likewise, you will be able to add an item to the subcategory as well. You can also define statuses for request by going to the Status tab. There will be 4 default statuses like Open, On Hold, Closed, and Resolved. Open and On Hold are in progress statuses. Closed and Resolved will be the completed status in the application. You can also define custom statuses as well. By clicking the New Status button, you will be able to create your own status. Give a name for the status and choose a type for the status, whether it's a completed one or it's an ongoing one. If it's an ongoing status, you can also define whether the timer should be stopped for that particular request. This helps with the SLAs for the request in the application. You can also define colors for your status as well in ServiceDesk Plus application. Level. Level helps you to indicate the complexity of a request in the application. You can define a number of levels as per your organization preference. Mode. There are different modes in which a request can be created in the application. One is email and the other one is web form. Email, as you have seen in the previous video, you will be able to configure the mail server settings and fetch emails into the application to convert them as requests. Web form, you can enable logins for your end users and they will be able to log in and create their own requests from their portal. Apart from this, if you would like to have like a custom mode, let's say phone call, as you see here, where a technician receives a phone call from the end user and he creates a request on their behalf, that's a phone call mode. Likewise, you will be able to create your own modes by clicking the New Mode button. You can also define the priority for a request as well in the application. The priority helps you to identify or indicate the importance of the request in the application. You can also define color codes for priorities. These are the default priorities that you will have, apart from which you will be able to create your own priority along with its own color code as well. Customizing templates. You will be able to create templates for commonly created requests in the application. For example, printer issues. In order to create your own template, click the Incident Template link under the Templates and Forms. Click on the New Incident Template button to create your own template. Give a name for the template, and the canvas will show you the fields that are available in that particular template. You will be able to remove the fields which you don't want. You can also mark fields as mandatory, and you can also restrict end users from viewing a particular field or setting a value to a particular field in the application. Apart from these default fields, you will be able to create additional fields for templates as well. You can add an additional field or create an additional field by dragging the New Field button from the RHS panel and place it anywhere in the canvas. There are different types of additional field which you can create, like single line, multi-line, pick list, numeric, and date and time type of fields. Let's give the field a name and save it. And that's how you create additional fields for templates in the application. You can also predefine values to the fields, so whenever a request is created, it comes with that default value. You can make this template available for the end users by checking the option Show to Requester. Note you have the option to choose user groups. If you select a particular user group, This template will be only available for the users who belong to that user group. If you don't want to set any kind of restriction like that, simply leave the user group option blank. If you want only technicians to have access to this template, uncheck Show to Requester option. Click on Save to save your template. Once you have saved the template, you will have two tabs added to the left: the Requester tab and the Tasks tab. The Requester tab gives you a preview on what are the fields that will be available for the end users if they choose this template. Tasks tab. You will be able to predefine tasks to templates in the application, so that whenever a request is created using that particular template, the tasks will be automatically initiated as well. You can create a task by clicking the Add Task button. Give a title for the task and predefine it to a group or to a technician in the application. You can also define the priority for the task and specify what type of a task is it and save it. You can also set up triggers for the task in order to specify when the tasks should be initiated. Once a request is created, or only after it is approved, or you want to trigger the tasks manually in the application. Business rules help you to organize the incoming incidents in the application. Using business rules, you will be able to assign groups, technicians, and define status for a request while it's being created and edited in the application. To create a business rule, go to the Business Rules link under the Automation section. Click the New Business Rule button and give a name for the rule. Choose when the business rule must get executed. You have options like created, edited, and created and edited. You will be able to specify the condition when the business rule must get executed on a request. You can create rules based on the requester's name, subject of the request, department, and priority of the request as well. For example, let's create a rule based on the subject of a request. If a subject contains Outlook crash, then you could say perform these actions on the request, like assigning it to a technician, place it in a specific group, and set a certain priority to it. You can also enable notifications so that you will be able to notify technicians whenever this business rule gets executed. You will be able to notify technicians with emails or by SMSs. So that's how you can create business rules for incidents in the ServiceDesk Plus application. You can also define multiple conditions for each and every business rule in the application. ServiceDesk Plus On Demand allows you to automatically assign requests to technicians in the application. You can enable this option by going to the Technician Auto Assign tab under Automation and check the box Enable Technician Auto Assign. You have different models to auto assign technicians: round robin method and the load balancing method. You can also specify the application to consider the technician's availability. If you choose load balancing method, technicians with least number of requests will be automatically assigned with requests. And if you choose round robin, technicians are assigned to requests irrespective of their workload. You can also enable the option to exclude technicians from the auto assign, and you can also enable exceptions so that requests which match the below criteria are not auto assigned with technicians in the application. Next is service level agreements, or SLAs. SLAs are applied to incidents based on certain criteria which you can define. You can create SLAs by clicking the Service Level Agreements link under Automation. SLAs can be defined based on individual departments, requesters, or even based on the workstations belonging to a site. To create a new SLA, click the New SLA button. Give a name for the SLA, and under the Rules section, specify your condition. Choose the criteria as priority and the condition and the value as high. You can define the time within which a request should be responded or resolved in the application. Let's say the request should be responded within 2 hours and it should be resolved within 4 hours. If you want these timing to be strictly followed during the weekends as well, choose irrespective of operational hours and check the box should be resolved irrespective of weekends. You will be able to define escalations for response and resolutions. If a request is not responded within the specified time, you can escalate it up to one level. You will be able to set up an escalation where you will be able to notify technicians either before or after request violates its SLA. And you can also perform actions like placing it to a different group, assigning it to a different technician, or setting a priority for it in the application. Likewise, you will be able to specify the resolution SLA. You have 4 levels of escalation for resolution, where you'll be able to notify multiple technicians and perform multiple actions in each and every escalation. Save the SLA, and this will get executed if the condition matches. Notification rules. You will be able to notify technicians and end users with automatic emails for certain actions. Like, you will be able to notify requesters whenever a request is received from them, or whenever their request is updated, resolved, or closed. You can customize those email templates by clicking the Customize Template link. You can modify the subject and the body of the message as per your preference to include values from the request for which the notification is being sent to. Likewise, you can set up notifications for the technicians. You will be able to notify technicians whenever a request is created or when a request is assigned to them. These 2 notifications can be done by email or by SMS in the application. You can also notify technicians when a request is closed or when a request is assigned to their group as well in ServiceDesk Plus application. In order to enable these notifications, check the options that you require and click on Save. Using the request closure rules, you will be able to specify the mandatory fields for closing a request. For example, if you check the option Resolution and Work Log, a request cannot be closed by a technician without these 2 options being filled in. You can also specify user acknowledgement, so whenever a technician closes a request, you can ask him with a question whether the end user has he acknowledged the request or not. You can also define the closing process for a request. There are 2 ways of closing a request: manual closure or automated closure. If you choose automated close, the requests which are set with the resolved status can be closed automatically after a certain amount of days. When a request is set to resolved, the application will send an email to the end user with the closed request link. The end user can either close the request using the link or reply to the email to reopen the request. If the end user hasn't taken any action within the specified days, the request will be closed automatically in the application. You also have the option to automatically close requests based on the associated tasks. You can check this option so that when the associated tasks are completed, you will be able to move the request to a closed or a resolved status in the application.